Hello and good afternoon to everyone that is currently tuned in live with us on another episode of Phillip Trading Podcast. I'm your host for today and my name is Trent. With me here today is our honored guest, Dr. Sathia Varqa, the co-founder of Palm Oil Analytics. How are you today, Dr. Sathia?
Excellent, very good on this rainy day.
Okay, good to hear that. So for today's podcast, we'll be sharing a preview of our upcoming webinar on this Thursday, 14 April from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. The title of the webinar is Palm Market Outlook 2022. So to all our audience out there who are currently trading crude palm oil futures, do not miss out this webinar and quickly register for the webinar at Phillip Futures website. Once again, I would like to the help of all our available audience today to share this video to all your friends. The more people that are watching this video, the more we are motivated to deliver greater content to all of you. Okay, so without further ado, let me introduce our esteemed speaker for the upcoming webinar to all of our audience. Okay, so Dr. Sathia is actually the co-founder of Palm Oil Analytics, an online publisher of palm oil daily news, price, data, and analysis based in Singapore, serving global commodity markets. Palm Oil Analytics publishes daily reports covering price assessments, analysis of key data, and also market commentary. Dr. Sathia previously worked for the S&P Global Platts, a division of the S&P Global based in Singapore. So this year he was appointed as advisor to the Malaysia Palm Oil Board Council under the Techno-Economic Research Committee. He also holds a bachelor's degree in business studies and master's in international trade, and also a PhD in political economy from Aberdeen, Scotland. Okay, so without further ado, now let me pass on to our speaker, Dr. Sathia, to give a preview on the upcoming webinar and why you should not miss out this informative session. Pass on to you, Dr. Sathia.
Thank you, Trent, for that very kind introduction. So, audience out there, you're listening to this podcast preview. I'm just going to give you a quick snapshot of what's been driving the prices so far this year, in the first quarter of this year. And I will leave you with some factors that may be driving prices for the rest of this year. But for the full presentation, full content, complete with charts, numbers, price outlook, you have to register for this event where the link is given here, and you can register and ask questions, and I look forward to seeing as many of you at that event. So very quickly, what's been driving the prices in the first quarter of this year? CPO futures is down about 16% from its peak of about 7,090 ringgit on the active month. So prices are down, but we are still 60% above the same time last year. So prices are still elevated compared to last year and double compared to 2020. So this year is going to be another big bumper year for many plantations, but that does not mean there are no problems ahead. Production is picking up, and we are likely to see the most meaningful, noticeable rise in production in March after 6 months of lackluster performance. But that doesn't mean the crops are there and it's going to be all collected and processed. As many of you know, Malaysia is facing severe labor shortage problem. There has been some developments on these, and I will say a little more on this in the full webinar. Although production is up, expected to be up by about 2% this quarter compared to last quarter same time, demand is rising at a much faster pace, at about 13 to 14% up in this quarter compared to the same time 2021. So demand is rising much faster than production, and there are some inherent problems in production, and I will say a lot more on these and show you some charts production forecast numbers for Malaysia and Indonesia in the full webinar. So with improving production, stocks are gradually moving into higher and higher surplus year-on-year basis. So at the end of this month, April, we think stocks will still remain at surplus compared to April of last year. We will get the MPOB data on the 11th of April. So it's just perfect timing for us to join this webinar on the 14th so that we can look at the full numbers from MPOB January to March and analyze the numbers and look ahead into the second quarter where production typically begins to improve. So it's not just palm fundamentals. There are also related edible oils. When we look at palm, we cannot just look at palm in isolation in Malaysia only. We have to look at other vegetable oils, bean oil, rapeseed oil, canola, and of course, big story in sunflower oil coming out from Ukraine and Russia. What's the story there? So the longer there is uncertainty, if there is no conclusion to this Ukraine-Russia war, there is going to be extended problems in the commodity markets, in oil, in gas, in fertilizer, in wheat, in metals, and so on. But the big ones in the palm sector is going to be on fertilizer. And of course, absence of sunflower oil means other oils have to cover that losses. And lastly, Indonesia fumbled its domestic policies by imposing domestic market obligation and then removing it. And that has pushed CPO prices much, much higher. But that policy is now abandoned. And what does that mean to the global market? Again, I will explore that a little bit more on the full seminar. So where are prices heading to? There are many factors. I will not be focusing on all of these, but I will highlight some key ones that investors must watch, must look out for in order to assess the movement of prices in the short term and in the long term. So I hope you are able to join me on that day so that we can explore all these factors and others. So with that, thank you very much. And I will hand it back to Trent to close the podcast.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sathia, for the wonderful preview. And once again, to our audience out there, please tune in to the exciting webinar on this Thursday, 14 April from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And to our audience who are interested or currently trading the Bursa Malaysia futures such as FKLI, FCPO, FEPO, or FM70, we are currently having a promotion of which you can win cash rewards of up to 400 ringgit. Not only that, you can also receive one-time Food Panda voucher when you open a Phillip Futures account and start trading. So for more details, you can drop us a message on Facebook and our representative will get back to you. Alternatively, you can also visit our website and under the promotions tab, you can find out more info on the promotion. Okay, lastly, before we end, if you have any question or any topics you want us to discuss next week, you can message in the comment box below. Thank you for listening to our podcast and happy trading for the week. Thank you for your time too, Dr. Sathia.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.